one may not grasp what it means to be an Israeli. So allow me, as somebody who just came from the Middle East, to take you on a small trip and share with you what I shared with the UCSD, University of California in San Diego, political science class last week. Their opening session of the year, what does the world look like from the viewpoint of no Prime Minister Netanyahu, not even Foreign Minister Lieberman, but the ordinary Israeli on the street. So as we look up to the north, what do we see? We see Lebanon, as if Jeremiah's prophecy is repeating itself. The communities inside that fragmented country are in constant battle. The Christians versus the Druze, versus the Shiites, versus the Sunnis. And we know not of what's going to happen, but only one thing. That Hezbollah, the terrorist organization, supported by Iran, yes, the same organization which killed over 200 Marines back in the 80s, gained power in Lebanon. The Christian government led by Hariri was toppled by Hezbollah, and now there is a Hezbollah prime minister. What is to happen in Lebanon, we do not know. We think, we hope, we feel. We look to Syria. Bashar al-Assad has been in power for many, many years now. You know, in general, with all of these revolutions in the Arab world, we're hearing of protests in the southern part of Syria, in Damascus. Will he survive? Is he going to stay? Do I hope? I don't know if I hope. I hope that something good will happen. If he stays, maybe it's good, because this is the person I know who's been there for so many years. But if he goes, will something good come up? I do not know. You know how it is with the recent revolutions. If you listen to some of the protesters, you're convinced that these Arab rulers are nothing but Zionist enthusiasts. Bashar al-Assad, a Hasidic singer, Hosni Mubarak, a hidden member of Theodor Herzl's movement, and Muammar Gaddafi doesn't wear a robe, he wears talis. But we have to remember the realities of the Middle East. For Mubarak visited Israel once, after Rabin's assassination for his funeral. And Muammar Gaddafi, I don't think I need to speak much. When you look to the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan, and you see a strategic ally of Israel, with whom we signed a peace treaty, but a very cold peace, for various reasons. And we don't know what's going to happen on that border, which is basically the border with Iraq and furthermore. We see the power of Iran increasing and growing in the Middle East, and we fear. We look to Egypt, to the south, an ally of Israel for the past 3 decades. Peace. It's been peaceful at the border, not a war peace. We haven't seen an incredible exchange of business people, scholars, or the ordinary citizens between Egypt and Israel. For any Egyptian who made his way into the perilous realm of the Israeli embassy in Cairo was immediately considered a spy. Why do you need a visa to go to Israel? Not only interrogated by the Israelis for the visa purposes, but also interrogated by the Egyptian security forces. We look to the south, and we see the Sinai Peninsula. Before, with a firmer hand and grasp of the Egyptian army. Now, when they're focused in the post-Mubarak era on the inner problems, the Sinai Peninsula is open. Open for what, you ask? Well, a few weeks ago, we had 2 Iranian ships making their way through the Suez Canal for the first time in many, many years, in which Egypt and Iran do not have full diplomatic relations, but only an interest office in Tehran, making their way to Syria, in ships which were carrying no flowers, neither strawberries, but missiles and weaponry, later uploaded to another ship, Victoria, seized by the IDF. That ship made its way to the Sinai Peninsula for the weapons to be smuggled into Gaza's-controlled Hamas to be used against Israel. Missiles with Persian manuals. I don't even think that the seizure of the ship reached the news to that extent. Kind of hidden. Have you heard about Turkey? I don't know if you've heard about Turkey seizing 2 Iranian planes carrying weapons on their way to Damascus, to Hezbollah. The Turkish authorities seized the airplanes, got hold of the weapons, and reported the findings to the UN Security Council in accordance with the sanctions on Iran. So where should we find hope? As your ordinary Israeli who lives in Beersheba, who lives in Netivot, we should look to the west. This will be our hope. From the Iranian ships to the flotillas, which are about to make their way to break the blockade of Gaza, the horrible blockade of Gaza, in which 150 trucks make their way every week into the Gaza Strip with goods and commodities for the benefit of Palestinians in Gaza. Don't make a mistake. Not even one truck is making its way with some goods for Gilad Shalit, the captured Israeli soldier who's been there for 5 years, but 150 through this blockade of Gaza. 150. If only we can have more Palestinian trucks making their way into Gaza. Only the IDF allows for a capacity of 250 trucks a week. The Palestinians apparently need only 150. Only recently, the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs made a declaration. It said that the Gaza Strip has grown its economy by 16%. Yes, we boast the economic growth in an enemy territory. Talk about an upside-down reality. Looking into the internal situation in Israel, the last few months have been rather, how shall I put it, challenging, especially the last few weeks. The Qassam and the missile rockets have increased and intensified from Gaza, making its way not only to Sderot but beyond, coming closer and closer to the center of Israel, to the Ben Gurion International Airport, using advanced missiles. The family in Itamar, human beings who were butchered, a father, a mother, to reach after Shabbat dinner, an 11-year-old boy, a 4-year-old boy, and a 3-month-old baby. All of them with a stab to the heart and a slit throat. And we as human beings can't help but think, which is the hand that was able to stab a 3-month-old baby in the arms of her father in the heart? Which is the heart connected to that hand, and which is the mind connected to this heart? What kind of people are we to deal with? The thought and the mind of each and every Israeli. Who is it on the other side that we are to make peace with? And not only the recent massacre in Itamar, which was in accordance to some media channels the Palestinian attack, but also the incident which brought about the existence of standards years ago, beginning of 2000. If I'm not mistaken, in the month of May, 2 13 and 14-year-old boys were making their way next to the town of Tekoa to look for logs for the Lag BaOmer bonfire. Kobi Mendel and Yosef Ishran, who were found a day later in a cave, having been tortured and stoned to death by Arabs. Who does that? Who does that? Where lies the answer? We had a bombing in Jerusalem. I was in my office in Tel Aviv at the time. There was a bomb attached to a phone booth next to a bus stop in Jerusalem. In the beginning, we had no idea what was happening. So the news came up, and the first news were a bus exploded in Jerusalem. And everybody remembered. A good friend of mine, the secretary in my office, starts tearing. She's crying. I rushed up to her and said, "What happened? Why are you crying? Do you know anybody on the bus? Do you know anybody who was hurt in the explosion?" "Oh no, Shabbat, the memories. The memories resurfaced." "What memories? I didn't know that. I didn't know that about you. What memories do you have?" "Oh, 8 years ago, when I was in Haifa and I boarded the bus. I was waiting at the bus stop with 3 of my friends. They boarded the bus in front of me, and I was in the bus behind them. I saw them die as the bus exploded, and I remember. As the bus went off in Jerusalem, I remember." We were done with it in a matter of 2 hours, unfortunately, as we're so unfortunately experienced in these incidents. But the heart suffers the most damage. One of the stories pertaining to that attack is the story of the owner of the small kiosk, the bombshell of the place, which was completely obliterated in '93 in a similar Palestinian attack. And again, got hurt in this attack. Not only did the owner of the kiosk report to the police about the incident, and there is a recording online of him calling to the police and saying, "Guys, there is a suspicious bag here. I'm trying to keep people away. I think you need to," boom. And you hear it on the tape, and you can be there with them for 1 minute. Shout with them, hurt with them, run with them, feel what it means to suffer the consequences of harsh terror. His brother, he was hospitalized with injuries. His brother came the following morning to clean the debris and reopen the kiosk. He was interviewed on Israeli news, and he was asked, "Once you got obliterated, twice you got hurt. Isn't it time to go? Move away? Leave? For what's the point of you staying here?" And he gave an answer which touched everybody's heart. He said, When I come to clean and I